CTV News at 5 with Hudson Mack.
There was a fuel spill along the length of the Malahat early today and a serious accident on the highway this morning, but investigators do not yet know if the two are connected. A commercial truck driver for Coast Environmental noticed a strong smell of diesel when he pulled over at a gas station in Langford. He realized that his truck had been leaking fuel during his entire commute over the Malahat from Duncan. The large truck hauls waste from septic systems, but the leak did not come out of the tanker. It came instead from fuel for the truck, likely a fuel line to the engine. Fire crews rushed to spread absorbent material on the highway to soak up the fuel because diesel can make for extremely slippery and dangerous driving conditions.
We've put Absorball down to try and soak it up and stop the traffic from tracking it all over the place. We've got some booms down to keep it out of the storm drains. Diesel can be pretty slippery on the roads. You get it on your tires and it tracks everywhere, so it can be quite an issue if people aren't careful.
Fire crews credit the driver for being proactive in containing the spill. Once he noticed the leak, he had thrown down booms to stop it from pouring into storm drains and placed a rubber bin beneath the leak until the repair crews and commercial vehicle inspectors could get there. Then not long after that, just north of Split Rock on the Malahat, a pickup truck went out of control, sliding off the highway and cartwheeling into a ditch.
Spectacular rollover. Just yard sailed the truck. There was bits and pieces everywhere. But most important, she is okay. And at the end of the day, that's all that matters.
The driver was a 22-year-old woman taken to the hospital, believed to suffer, amazingly, only minor injuries. Malahat firefighters did notice there was a sheen on the road that might have come from the diesel spill. Crews are not sure if the accident is related to the spill, but they're continuing to investigate. The suspect in a drive-by shooting in downtown Victoria remains at large tonight, and now Victoria police think he may have been firing at their officers as well. And they're asking for your help tonight to find more evidence in the case. 23-year-old Dennis Grant Fletcher is charged with attempted murder, accused of shooting into a crowd outside Club 919 in downtown Victoria early Monday. Police also believe the suspect was firing at officers while they were pursuing the getaway vehicle. The pursuit began at Hillside and Quadra, and the suspect vehicle then turned right at Hillside and Shelburne, ending at Ryan Street. Police are looking for evidence along that route. If you happen to find a 9mm brass Luger bullet casing with the word "win" stamped on it, or an unexplained bullet hole in a building along the route, you're asked not to touch either piece of evidence, but to call 911.
There are holes in the getaway car, and those holes match up with where our cops would have been behind them. And the timing and how we've been able to put it together certainly shows that he fired at our officers.
Fletcher is charged with attempted murder. There's a warrant out for his arrest. He's considered armed and dangerous. Police think he may still be hiding in Greater Victoria. If you see him, do not approach him, but call 911 immediately. You can go to our website, ctvvancouverisland.ca, to refer to that route and closer look at the examples police are looking for. Investigators may never be certain what caused a house fire on Johnson Street that killed 3 young people earlier this month. From the start, firefighters believed the flames began in a couch on the front porch. It had caught fire earlier in the evening. People in the home thought they had put the fire out, but the flames may have reignited after the victims went to sleep. You may have noticed a flurry of activity in the Esquimalt Harbour today, more so than usual, involving rescue boats, the Canadian Coast Guard, and even a helicopter from the Maritime Helicopter Squadron. All of the action was part of a joint search and rescue exercise involving both the Royal Canadian Navy and the Royal Canadian Air Force. Military planners designed the training to practice rescuing Navy crews from a failed submarine underwater. It was also to connect with military forces from all over the world.
But we also have reached out to agencies all around the world, so we actually have to reach out to our partners that have the rescue vehicle and build the links and pass information. So we're also doing that in the background. So I actually just told a guy in the UK that we're done with his services. He can go to bed now.
The Navy submarine was not actually part of the exercises today, but crews were able to simulate the rescues without it. It's also the first time the Canadian Coast Guard has taken part in these MARPAC exercises. The Tourism Leadership Committee in Nanaimo is planning ahead with plans to draw more tourists and more tourism revenue into the harbour city. The committee launched its new strategic plan today, which outlines actions it's going to take over the next 3 years to advertise and to market Nanaimo. It involves new television, print and radio ad campaigns. The committee is also planning to partner with other industries to have a broader reach in its Nanaimo tourism marketing.
So when we have people come to our community, the goal is to keep them for a couple, 2 or 3 days. And so when we can say to them, you know what, you can go south of town and have a wonderful culinary experience. You can go north of town and have a wonderful nature experience. All these different facets, all the different aspects of our community are going to be marketed in a much more robust way and in a way that we can create new experiences, new attractions that become iconic over time so we can bring new visitors to the community as well.
Tourism Nanaimo also launched its new website today, which at the click of a mouse can be translated into 50 different languages. You didn't have to look far to see a sea of pink stretching up and down Vancouver Island today. It's Pink Shirt Day for bullying awareness. The initiative began in Nova Scotia when 2 high school boys saw a younger student being bullied for wearing a pink shirt. Their response the next day was to hand out pink shirts to all of the boys in the school. Now the campaign has spread across the country, and people of all ages were donning their pink in Diana Krall Plaza in Nanaimo today.
It's near and dear to everyone's heart because I think everybody can identify at one point in their life of being bullied. It happens not just to children but to adults, and we want to make people aware.
What I'm hopeful for as a result of the awareness that's being built around this is that we'll build a stronger, more integrated community response, one that's both proactive and that can also come in and help deal with the bullying as it comes about.
This is the 6th year of Pink Shirt Day in Canada. It takes place on the last Wednesday of every February.